Well, here I am over my pond. This thing's about 100 feet long, 30 feet wide, and at the deepest point it's 12 feet deep. So there's a fair amount of water in there. I don't know the math. I could figure it out, but I haven't yet. So let's just say there's a good amount of water in here. And being that my livestock and gardens are over on this side, the water is kind of inaccessible without a pump. So I don't really want to use my well. I don't want to use electricity. I don't want to use gasoline. What I do have is a water ram set up. And right down there you can see that cinder block. And that's where the input hose is being weighted down. And there's a small sediment filter on the end of that. And if we follow that down through the overflow channel of the pond here, through these cattails, goes underneath this here little footbridge. And down this little path here, and it meets up with this little brook down in the gully. That's about 10 feet of drop, maybe a little more, but that feature right there is key because we have some gravity fed water down to this ram pump. Here it is coming into the pump. It's got an 1 inch poly pipe. Comes into a check valve. And the first check valve is going up that way, so it's normally closed. The second one, you can see, is normally open. The action of the water is closing it. And that's the ram action. You can see that going all the way back to the pond where it's disturbing the water up there. Anyway, down here we got our pressure gauge. Let's see, we've built up about 20 pounds of pressure. This valve is just barely open. We're going up to that post up there. I don't know if you can see, there's a white bucket hanging from it, where our gardens and livestock are going to be. So if I ease this open a little more, we're going to see the pressure drop, I think. We might get a better flow, because right now we're getting about a trickle. It might have been too much. You can see it dropped a little. As long as it stays steady though, I think we're good. Staying there about 15. That should build back up to around 20. And I think my issue is that I'm not rising enough actually, because you get about a 1 in 7 ratio of lift here. So for every foot that it drops down this hill to the pump, it'll be able to push the water 7 feet uphill. And again, that's just the action of these check valves working in reverse directions and building head pressure in this PVC pressure tank right here. So I think the issue is there's not enough back pressure. I should be going even higher to bring back pressure, because I'm losing pressure once I try to open this valve. So maybe I ought to extend that post up, shoot, another 10 feet or something. I don't know. All right, we've dropped down to about 10 psi. That should work its way back up. And you can see we're still only barely open. But if we follow this up top, here we go uphill. And look at this. Free water all day long. No electricity, no gasoline. That's just flowing. I'm not doing that. Gravity is. Gravity and the hydrology and fluid dynamics of that pump down there that someone smarter than I designed. That particular design is based on one from Mr. Teslonian's YouTube channel, so I'd like to give a shout out to him, because his design is working pretty good for me. So I got this 4-way splitter here. My plan is to take one of these, run it over to the garden here, do some drip irrigation. The other one, these two here actually are for the bucket when I need to just bucket water. And this fourth one here, I'm gonna run a line down along here. And right over to our pig water in our pig pen here, which they're not in there yet. I'm going to pick them up tomorrow. And who knows, I maybe even run another line farther down to the goats that come out of the barn to graze. And yeah, pretty good, pretty good. I like it, I like it. Free water. And there it is, still flowing. I love it. So it's pretty amazing. You get that big untapped resource over there, and just some hoses and simple valves and connectors pieces you can buy at the hardware store for 50 to 100 bucks, depending on what you get. And here we got water way over here with minimal effort, no effort really. I love it. That's all for now. If I get this thing running even better than this, I'll make another video. All right. Happy farming, folks.